And then what was different about the fourth quarter?
I mean, after 4 weeks, it's obviously just kind of hit or miss on how much rust you'll have and how quickly you can get up to the speed of the game. And obviously with the flow, the way that they were playing, first quarter felt good just to be back out there and running with my guys and feeling the energy in the building again. And then kind of hit a little lull in the second and third quarter. I felt like I got stronger as the game went on, which is exciting knowing, body will respond coming on this road trip and be able to continue to build my endurance back to where it was before the injury, and then hopefully get everybody on the same page of how we need to go through this road trip and find a way to kind of right the ship after these last 3 games.
I'm sure part of the fourth was, you're trying to get back in the game, but how much of your aggression in the fourth was trying to shoot yourself into a rhythm?
Well, it was my longest run of the game. The minutes restrictions are always tough because you're trying to pace yourself, but you're also looking at the clock every possession, counting, knowing when you're going to come out. So you try to have that balance. You don't want to force things just because you're only going to play a certain stretch of the game and kind of let the game come to you, but there is a little bit of pressure of trying to find, a rhythm as quick as possible, knowing the runs are a lot shorter than I'm used to. In the fourth, the intensity of the game picked up. We obviously were playing very desperate to try to come back and made some plays. Felt like myself again, and then just felt a little short, obviously, with the loss, but I think we all kind of found a rhythm towards, throughout that fourth quarter stretch that we can hopefully bottle up and take on the road with us, knowing we have to play desperate on the road to beat the teams that are coming up on the schedule and, again, rectify the way that we've been playing throughout the season on the road.
What is, you're wearing the sleeve. What does that do for the shoulder? Just wearing the sleeve and you got the tape. What is kind of, the purpose?
It gives you support and keeps it warm and allows me to feel, as composed in terms of everything that I'm trying to do, strengthening my shoulder to keep it right. And the fact I don't want anything on my right arm, because that is where I feel like the flow of and the rhythm of being able to shoot the ball. That's something that we tried pretty much everything when I was going through my workouts coming back, and that was the one. It looks wild, but that was the one that felt the best in terms of giving my shoulder the right support and feel, throughout the game.
Do you feel the shoulder at all still? Did you feel it during the game tonight, taking hits or anything?
Anytime you have an injury, whether I feel it or not, it's more so I'm not thinking about it during the game, and that's the point we had to get to before I got cleared to play. So I don't think it matters how much I feel it. It's just that when I'm out there hooping, I'm not really thinking about it at all. So that's a positive, and hopefully it continues to stay that way with all the things I'll do in between games to keep it strong and keep the rehab process going, even though I'm back out there playing.
Stephen, is it somewhat bittersweet to see Damian on the other side?
No, absolutely not. I cut you out because in terms of he played extremely well tonight.
He did.
And I don't like to see it at all.
Yep.
I already cheered him on his first game in Phoenix at home when he hit the game winner, so I did enough cheerleading for D-Lee. Yeah. I am proud of him, the way he's played throughout the year and what everybody you talk to in the Suns organization speaks so highly of who he is as a person, who he is as a player, what he does for the locker room, and again, how he's been playing on the court. He's shooting the ball at an extremely high level, so you hate to see it against, our team. I know it was a special night for him for sure. His family and the crowd who got to bring his son on the court to get the ring and all that, but I hated it at the same time.
Steph, you watched that 5-game win streak to start this trip, and now you guys lost 3 in a row. where do you stand on like where you guys are and how you feeling about what you need to do now, and now that you're back, do you expect a turn up?
You always expect a turn up. You always expect us to find a way to go on a run. We've been talking about it for a while. The way the guys played those first 5 games and scratching and clawing and pulling out those wins was huge. We hit a tough stretch for the last 3. It happens, but I think we have to be honest with ourselves about the details of what makes a winning team, and remind ourselves, what that is, and hold ourselves to that standard in terms of everything you saw in the fourth quarter tonight. Not saying you're going to pick up 94 feet every possession and be able to sustain that for 48 minutes, but the level of focus, the level of togetherness, toughness, high IQ basketball. We demonstrated a lot of that to try to give ourselves a chance to win tonight. So got to put all those pieces together, and a lot of it too is it's our defensive principle of not fouling, rebound the ball, which we didn't do either one of those tonight. Offensively moving the ball, we showed bright spots of that, and then figuring out our rotations again, because we've had guys in and out the lineup and guys on minute restrictions, and you want to find hopefully a good run where we have, like Clay said, a full squad, and understand again how we can build momentum. We've been talking about it for a long time, and eventually you got to do it, or else time runs out.
We back to hashtag full squad.
JaMychal's still out, and so we need him. But no T-shirts will be made.
You were talking about getting back to form. Wiggins said he's never been out this long, so it's kind of an adjustment period. But what do you think him picking up full court did for him and did for the team?
For our team, it helped us get back in the game. We got multiple extra possessions and steals and built a lot of momentum. I think for him individually, and anybody coming back from an injury, you got to remind your body what it's like to meet that level of intensity, because it's so hard to simulate that even in practice or scrimmages or in the conditioning stuff that you do. I've had 3 or 4 of these kind of 4 to 6 week absences where I understood more how to focus on the rehab, and then also make sure your body doesn't lose too much of the conditioning and the preparation that you've built over the summer and training camp in the first 30 games. But everybody responds to it differently, and you have to remind yourself what that level's like, and kind of shock the system a little bit to get over the hump, so that every game you get a little bit stronger. And I think he, or hopefully he felt that tonight, and will look a lot better come Friday, where we play.
Going back to your answer to Marcus's first question, talking about at a certain point you just kind of have to do it, right? And I mean, Steve was sitting up here saying, taking responsibility of not having you guys prepared to be locked in from the jump. Why do you think that this season there has been, lineups aside and guys coming in and out aside, why has it been challenging to kind of just get that mental locked inness, I guess?
You just said kind of setting it aside. It's hard to not be real with ourselves about that part of it, and also we're a different team than we were last year, and there's expectations of how we started last year that we're trying to meet, and it's taking us a little while. So early in the season it was, our starting lineup's great, and the bench was trying to find an identity. Then there were some injuries, and it was like, we can't win on the road. And then we found a way to scratch and claw, 5 straight wins out this homestand, and slowly get some reinforcements back off the injury list, and all the while we had moments where we've built an identity, and then it kind of escapes us a little bit. So Coach obviously is going to blame us who he is as his character, but we also know